Have you ever wondered how our ocean ecosystems will look like in 10, 20, if not 100 years from now? This speech is given to inform the audience of the impacts rising from the CO2 levels in our ocean ecosystems. Without a doubt, our ocean ecosystem is essential to humanity, and it should be a concern how individuals are not acknowledging or haven't been informed of the impacts that are being caused. This speech contains three topics, one of them being what is happening in our ocean. The second one is why are CO2 levels a recurring factor in the acidity of our ocean. The third one is what are the effects of ocean acidification. To begin with, what is happening in our ocean, I would like to talk about the damages that are occurring in our coral reefs. Due to high level of ocean acidity, large areas of coral reefs are dying. This is because the calcium carbonate that is required for coral reefs to survive isn't being produced, which because of the insufficient amounts, they're not allowed to kind of create their structure and end up dissolving and dying. I would like to reference the Oceanographic Institution, which has a lot of information about the reduction of the generating factor of calcium carbonate. They state that as the ocean acid goes up, all the carbonation that bonds with hydrogen, which all organisms need, these clarifying agents are no longer available. This allows for the acid to eat up the majority of the calcium carbonate. Another thing that's happening in our oceans is that there's a huge alternation to the marine food chains. And this is because the ocean acidification eats up all the nutrients used by the organisms, and because of the insufficient amount of nutrients, this allows that these organisms cannot create the structures that are needed for protection from large predators, and this has a huge direct effect on food supplies, especially in the United States economy. As ocean acidification has a huge decline to the ocean population, there is a huge shortage in food resources in the ocean ecosystem, which has a huge effect to the human food chain and economy. For example, because of this, seafood prices are skyrocketing and is very unaffordable and expensive for a lot of people. Humanity should know which areas are causing the most impacts. To begin with, why are CO2 levels a recurring factor in acidity? This is because there's a huge pollution. There's a lot of pollution because of the fossil fuels burning. The pollution due to fossil fuel burning has been occurring since the Industrial Revolution. According to the United States, and this comes from the UCSUSA.org, they state that according to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, about 1/4 to 1/3 of all the CO2 levels from fossil fuel burning has been already absorbed in the ocean. And another thing that is stated from an article published by Nick Hawkins, he states that this has already increased the ocean acidity by 30%. While many have argued about the pH levels and how it hasn't increased it, there hasn't been a reduction of anything in the past 150 years, if anything. According to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, this has just been affecting it more and more because around 34 billion tons of fossil fuel are always being burned every single year. And another thing that is kind of affecting us as well is how we use, or what practices we use in our lands. For example, there's an increase in litter, waste, or construction, and these three things produce the most amount of pollution. For example, the sewage disposal or industrial or agricultural companies, polluting in different ways, or there's a lot of trash being thrown into the oceans. And this is very important to know that we need to make a change in that. Our ocean plays a huge essential role, which covers 70% of the Earth's surface, and we're affecting it in so many ways which needs to stop. Effects of the ocean acidification, one of the main ones is marine life. There's been a huge decline in marine life. Roughly 49% of the marine life has been affected, and because of the ocean acidification, it kills a lot of ocean organisms. And again, kind of going back, there's a huge effect on the food chains and how creatures are just dying because of this. Another thing that we should note is that there is an effect on global warming. According to the Live Ocean, which talk about climate change and the oceans that are at risk, they state that the rising of the temperature causing conditions of the ocean acidification has made it very difficult for creatures and organisms to live in. This is because the ocean consists of carbon sink, which means that it retains a lot of the carbon dioxide. As I begin to conclude, it's important to emphasize that there is many areas where ocean acidification is affecting. As I mentioned, we have talked in this speech about how is the ocean changing day by day, which factors of carbon dioxide levels is impacting our oceans, and lastly, we talked about what these are the impacts of ocean acidification. The whole purpose of this speech is to convey a message of the importance of knowing how and where carbon dioxide is affecting our ecosystems. Although day by day these levels could change, even for a positive, something that benefits us or something that is really going to affect us, it's important that all of us are contributing to this in different levels. So it's important that we start today, and instead of it being too late where there's nothing that can be done.